What's up, guys? Duster McDangles back here with another video, and welcome back to the NHL season preview series here as we continue on in the Central Division. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Minnesota Wild, how they finished up last year, players that have left the squad, players that they have brought in, as well as taking a look at the future projections as what I think they will do for this upcoming hockey season. Before we do get into the episode, guys, thank you so much for the love and support you've been showing the channel. We are close to 500 subscribers. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you guys like NHL hockey, we will be doing it all winter long here on the channel. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and hop into this video and take a look at the Minnesota Wild. Having had an extremely solid year last year, the Minnesota Wild finished up the year with 113 points, making the playoffs, getting second in the division, only behind the eventual Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. They finished up the year with a record of 53-22-7, getting to the playoffs and actually losing in the first round to the team we covered last time, which was the St. Louis Blues. A little bit of a disappointing end of the season considering the fact that they had such a killer year. Couple top point getters, Kirill Kaprizov, 108 points in 81 games played, absolutely insane. Kevin Fiala, who they have lost to the Kings, he had 85 points in 82 games. Zuccarello had 79 points in 70 games played, and then Ryan Hartman, actually a surprising year, 65 points in 82 games played. It'll be interesting to see where they go moving forward, but taking a look at their team stats last year, they had goals for, they were 5th in the league for that. Goals against, they were 18th. Their power play was 20.5% with a penalty kill of 75.1%. If anything, I think they just really need to shore up their backside or their defensive side of things, sort of maybe get that into the top 12 of the league and maybe keep their goals for around that 5 to 8 range, and I think that might be a good recipe for success moving forward this upcoming season. But let's go ahead and take a look now at the players that have left the squad, the players that they've brought in. We'll then go ahead and take a look at their projected lines, take a look at their contract situations, and then take a look and predict this upcoming season and see how they're going to finish up according to me. Overall, for the Minnesota Wild, when it comes to player movement in and out of the club, there hasn't been a lot of change. I think more so they lost one of their biggest players this past season. So the players that have ended up leaving the squad, you have Cam Talbot as well as Nick Delorier's, and I would say their biggest loss of the offseason ended up being Kevin Fiala as he left for the Los Angeles Kings. That'll be a big loss for the Minnesota Wild on the front end of things. But the players that they have gone ahead and brought in: Philip Gustafsson between the pipes, Nick Patan, Andre Schuster on the back end, as well as they were able to sign recently Sam Steele to the squad. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do and provide to the squad as he's basically fighting to stay in the NHL. Now on the screen are the projected lines. I think they are definitely a little off, but this is what Puckpedia has on their site right now, just to get a little bit of a taste at what we could see their team look like. Kaprizov, Hartman, Zuccarello on that top line, very solid top three. You could even interchange Eriksson, Ek, or even Marco Rossi, depending on how he plays this year, it being his full first season in the NHL. You got Boldy, Rossi, and then Yost on that second line. Again, not the strongest of second lines, but I think their third line, again, subject to moving some players around, Foligno, Eriksson, Ek, and Greenway, a very solid third line if that ends up being their third line. Fourth line, pretty standard of a fourth line. You got Gaudreau there in the middle, who had a pretty solid year last year. Kind of surprised a lot of people, having 44 points in 76 games played, considering the fact he is a depth forward. I thought that was a very solid year for him. On the back end, just taking a look at it, Brodin, Dumba, Middleton, Spurgeon, Goligoski, Addison. Very solid defense. I think it'll be interesting to see how Addison does this year playing with, if he does end up playing with Goligoski. Can Goligoski stay healthy? Being an older type player, who knows, but it'll be interesting to see. Can Dumba stay healthy? I know he was in and out of the lineup last year, as well as Jared Spurgeon, so it'll be interesting to see if their top defenseman and their captain Spurgeon can stay healthy and have a big year. And then between the pipes, you've got Marc-Andre Fleury and Gustafsson. Fleury, being a Penguins fan, I do miss him dearly, but he is a solid top elite goaltender still in the league, and I feel like he'll be able to carry him. This might be the first year that he is the main go-to guy without any goal goaltender tandem or controversy. I think that'll do a lot to help Fleury moving on later this year. As the year goes on, him being the main goaltender, who knows, we could get a Vezina performance out of Fleury this entire season. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the salaries and contracts for the Minnesota Wild moving forward for this year. Not a lot at the top of their roster when it comes to top players needing deals done. I'd say Tyson Jost, a restricted year for him. Frederic Gaudreau has an only unrestricted forward this upcoming season. Matthew Boldy, we'll see what he can do on his restricted free agent year, as he is only 21 years of age, so it'll be interesting to see how he does this year, as well as Sam Steele. Who knows what he'll do? He only signed a one-year deal with the Wild, $825,000. 24 years old. I would say at this point he's really playing for his NHL career. And then you got to get a deal done with Matt Dumba. Who knows if they get that deal done before the season starts, or if they get it done during the season or at the end of the season, or depending on how they're doing, is it somebody who they look to move on from? I don't think that's the case. He is still only 28 years old, a top defenseman in the NHL. You got to sign him back to the squad. I know they're going to have a little bit of a trouble with their cap space the next few years with the dead cap of Zach Parise and Ryan Suter's contracts having been bought. It'll be tough to move some cap around to try to sign some players, so we could be looking at a tough time for Bill Guerin moving forward in the future when it comes to tough contract restructurings and things of that nature. Between the pipes, you've got Fleury up for 2 years. He is 37 years old. I think this might be his last long contract in the NHL. He might be signing some one-year deals, or maybe even look to go back to the Penguins at the end of this current contract. But overall, when it comes to the Minnesota Wild this upcoming season, I fully expect them to be where they were last year, top of the division, could even push for that first place in the division as long as they stay healthy. I don't think they're too super deep in the pipeline, so if there are a few injuries earlier in the season, it could set them back later on in the year and have to play catch up, which is going to be tough to do in the Central Division with other teams getting better. So I fully expect them, if they are healthy, to be up where they were around that, I'd say 49 to 54 win range, I think is a fair statement, fair guess for them with the health factor in play. And that can be said for any team in the NHL. So overall, I think you'll see the Wild second, first, or even third in their division, with the Blues and Predators there behind the Wild, trying to push them a little bit this upcoming year. But I can expect them to be in the playoffs, either playing in the first round against the Blues, the Preds, the Avalanche, who knows, but it would be a great first round series. But I want to hear from the Wild fans out there. Who do you think is going to have the biggest year this upcoming year? Will Kaprizov continue his dominance and have another 100-point season? Who's going to step up in the absence of Kevin Fiala? Who's going to be their go-to back-end guy? Is it going to be Spurgeon, the captain, or will Dumba step up after a injury-ridden season, having only gotten 27 points last year? Will this be the first year in a while that Marc-Andre Fleury, being the main goaltender, step up and have crazy good numbers with a .915 save percentage and, let's say, a .215 goals against average? Who knows? It'll be interesting to see what they could do this upcoming season. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Be sure to blow it up. I want to chat with you guys. I want to chat with the Wild fans out there. Again, if you've made it this far in the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stick around the channel and grow the channel. We have been growing like crazy, and I can't thank you guys enough for the love and support. But that's going to be it for today's episode. If you guys did enjoy it, smash that thumbs up. But I hope you guys have a good one. And as always, stay dusty.